Have you ever dived into Revelation and explored some of these really big ideas, maybe something like the Rapture? Then this video is going to be for you. Hopefully you can stick around to the end to see how we unpack concepts like the Rapture, end times, and these big ideas that we find in the book of Revelation. One of the biggest places and concepts we find in Revelation is the notion of the rapture. It's made its way through popular literature, in movies, and film. And as Christians, as we engage these concepts, we always want to return back to the Bible to see what it says about these ideas. And sometimes we also got to go back in history a little bit. And so that's what I want to do with you today. You know, in the late 1800s, Jonathan Darby came over from Ireland to the United States, and he taught this notion that really became the rapture. He became the father of these big time frames, kind of like the first person to put together these long linear time frames, roadmaps, so to speak, of how we might understand Revelation. And you know, that's really inviting because it helps us make sense. It helps us kind of find some security and make sense of everything happening in this crazy book. One of the struggles we have, though, as we embrace a notion of rapture, is that it doesn't have a really strong biblical foundation. Sure, we might find a few casual references or something that poetically speaks of the rapture, but we don't see real good foundational study that tells us about the idea. You see, we believe in a covenant God, a God who's made relationship with the people of Israel, and then this Jesus who comes to earth and continues and makes a new covenant with everyone on the planet, all creation, and invites us into this coming kingdom that we call heaven. Now, with Darby's thinking, he had these ideas that God operated in time frames. A time frame with ancient Israel, a time frame with Christ, and this coming second time frame, or third, before heaven. Now that breaks down the notion of God's covenant with God's people. That's one of the first struggles we see with Darby's kind of foundation that led to the rapture. In addition, we like to see this idea of a God who created, that adores creation and is moving them into a new creation. Whereas a rapture theology seems to indicate we are pulled out of creation, the world is really destroyed and then remade. So it seems to be that a faithful reading of Revelation might put the idea and concept of rapture a little bit to the side. Now again, it might not be something wrong to believe in, but again, there might be something a little more faithful to believe in as we see a God who's inviting us into a new creation to reflect a kingdom that's coming, and in some very powerful way, moving the physical world into a new creation, into heaven, into the fullness design of what God has offered the church. Amen.